Welcome to this two-part video about the treatment of depression. If the most common method of dealing with depression or anxiety is going to the doctors and being prescribed some sort of medication, then it is plausible to assume that this is the only safe option there is. If so, then treating these problems without drugs might be considered by some to be dangerous. During my investigation, I have found there is a danger, and it's reported to be causing 40,000 Americans to die every year. If you're suffering from some common mental disorder, you're not alone. Over 46% of patient visits to doctors are either for depression or anxiety-based conditions. So the truth about the treatment of depression is more important than ever, because your doctor could be killing you. Prescribed antidepressants are responsible for 40,000 deaths in the United States every year. Now, this is not just a problem in America, as antidepressants are prescribed all over the world. According to the Guardian newspaper, antidepressants in England, the UK, have nearly doubled in a decade to almost 40 million in 2009. Unfortunately, doctors are trained about drugs by the drug companies, and they are heavily incentivized to prescribe even more drugs. The drug companies control the medical industry because they have their people on the boards of all regulating bodies. One such body is the Food and Drug Administration in America. Now, here's a newsflash. There is no proof that these drugs help people with depression in the long term. And what's more, the drug companies have grossly misrepresented their initial drug trial data, which in plain language means they lied. Now, take this article from the Guardian newspaper. It said that Prozac, used by 40 million people, does not work, say scientists. Analysis of unseen trials and other data concludes it is no better than placebo. In other words, if the people on the trials believed the pill they were taking would help them feel better, then it would. Whether it was a drug or a sugar pill, it made no difference. And the way that Prozac has been marketed is not the exception, but rather it's the norm. Now, talk about selling snake oil. The pharmaceutical industry is purely profit driven, whether a product actually works or not. With any new drug on the market, there is a lag time before the side effects become undeniable. A vast revenue can be generated before legal fees and damage payouts start to nibble away at the profits, and the profits are absolutely huge. Then they'll come out with another wonder drug, and the cycle just repeats itself again. Now, the drug companies don't want you to know this information, but these are well documented side effects of taking antidepressant medication. You're twice as likely to have suicidal thoughts and violent behaviour when you're taking SSRI antidepressant. Well, I was astounded to hear that 7 of 12 school shootings in America were done by children on antidepressants or withdrawing from them. You're also 2 to 3 times more likely to develop type 2 diabetes. SSRI has been shown to weaken your immune system. And if you're a woman who's pregnant and taking antidepressants, you're running twice the risk of having a stillborn child, and almost twice as likely to have a premature or underweight baby. There was one study that showed there was an increased 40% risk of birth defects such as cleft palate. Women who are on antidepressants have been shown to develop brittle bones. There's a 30% higher risk of spinal fracture and a 20% increased risk for all other fractures. Also, the risk of stroke is 45% higher whilst on an antidepressant. And researchers found people taking antidepressant had arteries on average 5% thicker than people who did not take them. This obviously leads to heart disease and increases the risk of sudden cardiac arrest. Overall death rates have been found to be an astounding 32% higher in women taking antidepressants. Now, from these statistics, you don't need to be a genius to realise that ill health and death rates will continue to rise. So do you want you or your family to risk the side effects of these medications? Or are you willing to open up your mind to a drug-free alternative? But what are the alternatives? There are 3 main areas that you can work on to overcome depression. 1. You can change your eating habits. Poor nutrition and high sugar diets contribute to health problems, which can increase the risk of depression. 2. Start taking regular exercise. This naturally increases the feel-good serotonin levels. And 3. Cognitive conditioning, which is the process where one learns new skills and techniques to express and release emotions. Now, a lot of so-called gurus are peddling expensive rubbish, but there are some powerful, effective methods that do work. In my own research for an alternative, I was fortunate to meet a man who had for the past 10 years been helping hundreds of people overcome depression and other related problems. It was after going through a personal upheaval in his own life that he became committed to discovering which of these techniques worked and just cutting out what didn't. He told me it cost him a crazy amount of money to attend the many different courses, claiming to teach the skills he was looking for. Some involved doing pretty bizarre things which he now finds rather embarrassing to admit doing. He went on to tell me he spent years studying thousands of ways in which you can change your thoughts and feelings, where you never have to struggle with those depressed feelings again. And over this period he's been developing, testing and proving that this system truly works. And what he found is that the more clients he worked with, the quicker he was able to achieve real and lasting change. Fast forward 10 years, and now clients in his private practice gladly pay over £3,000 for his services. But that sort of money is out of reach for many people, and seeing clients on a one-to-one basis is not really an efficient use of his time, because he had a desire to help as many people as possible to overcome debilitating emotional problems, so he needed to find a radical new approach. In order to reach the maximum number of people, he needed to create a series of standalone programs that would enable clients to work through and achieve change on their own. So he dramatically reduced his practice hours and fully committed himself to developing such a program. After 5 years of development and at a cost of over £300,000, he did it, and it was revolutionary stuff. You now have an affordable and proven way of getting rid of depression completely. We're not talking about managing it, we're talking about getting rid of it completely. Now, because this is not a conventional way of treating depression and related illnesses, some people may be wondering if it's possible to banish depression by yourself. Well, this is part of a complete system that has been proven to help people develop their emotional well-being and beat the cycle of depression in safety without the need for drugs. And you will see professional testimony supporting this system later in this video. You're able to go through the program at your own pace in the comfort and privacy of your home. Research done by the University of Birmingham in 2007 found a staggering 83.5% people said of this system, "This has changed my life for the better." Now please be aware, if you're currently on medication for depression, do not stop taking them, as it is extremely dangerous to do so. But discuss coming off them gradually with your medical practitioner. Now it's difficult to know who to turn to and who to trust when you're in a depressed state. So it's gratifying to know there are some doctors who are open-minded enough to check out new ways of treating this growing problem. Dr. David Morris, a UK doctor, has been quoted to say, "This is an astonishingly powerful tool. I have seen patients with long-term issues who have previously explored traditional therapies without much success be totally transformed." And Dr. Baal Varna, a senior psychology lecturer, has commented that this is the best emotional intelligence system that I've ever come across. It really works for lots of different kinds of people. Now it's time for you to free your mind. It's time for you to take responsibility for your own well-being and not rely on chemicals that don't even work and can even do you harm. Medical statistics don't lie, but drug companies have demonstrated they are willing to do so. You can now learn how to banish depression forever. The company is so confident of this system they guarantee their products and their results. Now, if you were to receive this training on a one-to-one basis, it would cost you over £3,000. But in this format, it's very affordable and convenient for you to work through. In part 2, you can even find out how to get the system for free. Also in part 2, there's more testimonials, including one by a famous TV celebrity. You'll also find out about 2 free bonuses worth nearly £100. Plus there is a time sensitive offer that you need to check out as soon as you can. So, to find out more about this powerful life changing system, go to www.treatdepressionwithoutdrugs.com/part 2 or click on the link below, and I look forward to seeing you in part 2.